Well, listeners, there is a brilliant new documentary showing as part of the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival. It is called King Carl the Cool, and this is an amazing documentary that looks at one man's journey and love of royalty and rock and roll. And this is an amazing documentary, like I said. And today we've actually got the man behind the documentary, Max, on the phone. And we've also got the directors, Amelia Ducker and Joe Leishman. Welcome to the program, all of you.
Thanks so much for having us today.
So, Max, I'll start
Thanks for having us.
No worries. Now, Max, I'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about where your love for royal families right around the world and music came from.
Well, maybe I should start with the royalty part first. It all started, I guess, when I was a little boy. I used to go and visit my paternal grandmother, who sadly is no longer with us, and she had a magazine on the Queen Mother, which I used to read extensively whenever I would go and visit her, and I guess that started it to some extent. But after the 2011 wedding of the now Prince and Princess of Wales, that triggered the ultimate interest, and ever since then I've been a follower of royal events. And in regards to music, I've always had a huge passion for music. Rock and metal in particular. My favourite bands are AC/DC, Black Sabbath, who just announced that they may do another show, which I'm really excited about, and Rammstein, Pantera, Lordi, I can go on and on.
So, this film looks at the song that you actually wrote for King Carl, of course, in Sweden. Tell us a little bit about why he is one of your favourite royals, and how did the idea for this song come about?
Well, at the time when I wrote the song, it was 2013, I was 17 and still at school, and of course my interest in royalty was extremely high, and still is, and I followed a lot of these social media platforms about European royalty, and it was announced that there was a big celebration coming up in Sweden for the King's 40th anniversary on the throne. And I did some research into the Swedish royal family and discovered that ABBA, even though they're not a rock and metal band, dedicated the first performance of their hit Dancing Queen to Queen Sylvia, who is the King's consort. And a lot of people who look into world cultures, one thing that's big in Sweden is, of course, heavy metal. And I thought maybe I should write the King a song, but a lot heavier and in your face, but still praising him and sort of turning him into a rock god hero and uniting Sweden with guitar.
Definitely. So, Joe, tell us a little bit about how you discovered Max's journey and how the idea for this film first came about.
Well, it actually starts a little bit with Amelia and Max, to be honest, but I am fortunate enough to be a dear friend of Amelia's, and she created this incredible theatre piece called Genius. And my other work is that of a stage manager, so she asked me to get on board and stage manage this piece, which she will tell you a bit more about. And so I met Max through that when he was talking about royal families, and he'd also written a song called King Carl the Cool, which Amelia said, we should make the film clip for this. So I helped her with that. And then backstage at the end of one of the shows, we were aware that Max and his family were going to Sweden. And Amelia and I sort of looked at each other and thought, this is a great story that Max has written a song for the King of Sweden, that he wants to go there and perform it for them. And so her and I just gave a little side eye to each other and said, what do you reckon? Is this going to be a film? And maybe I'll let Amelia tell you a little bit more about the start of that and what happened next.
Definitely. Amelia, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, backtrack a little bit. So I was actually working at a school out in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, and I just remember being on yard duty one day and kind of going, teachers in the lunch area kind of tend to have kind of similar conversations every day, and I was out on yard duty and just met Max out there and just went, this is a refreshing conversation. Here's someone who's got a spark and all of these passions and interests, and through meeting Max and also working with a number of other neurodiverse young people at St Martin's, I kind of thought, wouldn't it be great to give them the chance to really delve into their interests and share that with other people and make it so that it was always on their terms. And through the Genius show, that's when Max revealed, it was like a big reveal with this song that he'd written for King Carl stuff that I hadn't heard before up until the lead up to the show, and I was blown away. I was just in awe of this song and was thinking, God, this should be played on radio. Why isn't the Witness also in the crowd? So many people really loved it and were so intrigued, and it was just this wonderful new intersection between rock and roll and royal families, and I've never seen anything like it before. So yes, as Joe said just before, that's where the spark came through and the idea to then join the family on their holiday in Sweden and see if we could take it further with the song and go on this epic adventure to try and meet the king.
Definitely. So, Max, where did the idea come about for you to go to Sweden, and how did you feel when you first heard that this trip might become the subject of a film like this?
Well, I'm a big dreamer, as I think you may have already indicated, and I like to sort of live my life dangerously, and I had this bold idea of going to Sweden in 2018 it was, and to present it to the King personally. Of course, I knew it wouldn't be easy because, of course, the King has a really extremely busy schedule, and so I sort of expected that it would not be easy, but I thought maybe just give it a try and see what happens. And so we went to Sweden in May 2018 and took it from there. And we were interviewed on Swedish radio, and the song was played, just the chorus, which I think is the best part of the song, because the opening lyric in the chorus was the first line I ever wrote for the song.
So, Max, how did you feel?
Yeah, we might not give too much away.
Yeah. So, Max, how did you feel about this being made into a film? Did you feel nervous about a film crew going with you, or did you feel like that was part of the adventure?
Well, I guess so. I was a little bit nervous because also, as well as being a journey, it was also going to be a holiday away from work because I work most of the time. So yeah, it was both good and bad at the same time. I mean, the real bugger of the filming that I had was when I arrived at the airport after a 24-hour flight. I was really jet-lagged and tired, and there were already cameras on me, and I was like, oh my God, can we just hold off for a day or so, please? But we still went ahead with it.
Definitely. So, Joe, tell us a little bit about the logistics of this. Of course, this took on a life of its own, this film. What was it like for you as a filmmaker going to Sweden to make this film?
Yeah, it was a big jump in the dark for both of us, really. We'd made the film clip together and that was it. So we sort of gathered up the gear that we had, which was Amelia's camera. We worked off one camera, one laptop. We did some crowdfunding. So we approached our friends and family and anyone we knew to put in some money, and then we self-funded the rest of it. I'd done a short documentary filmmaking course, and I think Amelia had done a little bit of study of film, and then we sat together. We sat with the family as well and spoke about what would work with them and where they were going on their days and how much time they felt willing to give to us. And then Amelia and I would work together each day, talking about where we think we go, what shots would be useful, what time to get there, whether we were taking too much of Max and his family's time. And then at the end of the day, if I'm correct, we'd sit and chat through the day and figure out what footage we got and what we might need. So it was really learning and working and planning on the ground, a little bit of forward planning, but we also had to learn and do and make it up as we went along.
Definitely. So, Amelia, for you, what was the most challenging part of this documentary, and what was your favourite part while you were filming it?
Oh, yeah, that's a lovely question. I'll start, in the order with the challenging part. Well, as Joe was recounting that, I was just remembering, actually, there was quite a lot that went into it, because we didn't have a huge crew. It was just us with, one camera, a tripod. Joe was there with the sound, and we weren't really sure also how the story was going to unfold. We didn't know in terms of all of the invitations that we'd given out to the king. We didn't know where that was going to land and what was going to open up. And so we were always kind of in this sense of, we don't know what's happening, we don't know what's unfolding, we've got one camera, this is the first time we've made this before. We're also very aware that Max is on holiday with his family, and we want to, being first-time documentary makers, we wanted to get as much footage as possible, but we didn't want to film too much and push the friendship, because we were also aware that they're having a really precious family holiday and needed their own downtime. So we were aware of energy levels when Max wanted to film, when he didn't want to film. We did push him for the airport shot at the beginning, but we were just always kind of in this space of not knowing and trusting, and day by day, which was wonderful and challenging. And the best part, I would say the best part of the whole experience was the whole journey. It feels like the point of the film was the journey to meet the king and share the song, which is definitely one of the big aspects. But the other one was this amazing friendship and this amazing connection that was opened up and shared with the family, and how they went about things. It was really, the journey itself was really, really fulfilling. It was really joyous. It was nice to be able to work and have a great time while we were working at the same time.
That's amazing. So to finish off for all of you, Max, first of all, how do you feel now that the film is out there for people to see, and what would you like to say to people who are heading along to see the film at the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival?
Well, for one, I think it's great that a lot of people are going to know about the story, because one of my biggest ambitions is to see what it will lead to, like maybe more musical opportunities for the song. That's my main hope. And also I want to see how people will respond to it. So and I just hope they'll find this enjoyable, and will leave the cinema knowing that they've had a good time.
And Max,
my message to them is to say, raise your horns when you hear the song.
And Max, I should say, for people who aren't in Melbourne, who can't go along to see the film, where can they listen to the song if they want to?
Well, currently there is a link on Vimeo, which Amelia uploaded a few years ago, so it's still there. Just look up King Carl the Cool Vimeo, and you'll find the music video there. There are plans to put it on YouTube, which I've been thinking of for a long time, so eventually we'll get round to that. But yes, Vimeo is the place to go if you want to listen to it.
Awesome. So, Joe, for you, what would you like to say to people out there who are about to head along and check out this film at the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival?
I hope they they love it, and I hope they have a great time, and I hope it fills their heart, and I get to see a really interesting, joyous combination of things coming together. Yeah, that's my hope.
Definitely. And Amelia, same question for you as well. What would you like to say to people out there who are about to head along and check out this amazing film as well?
Yeah, look, from what has come forth on last Thursday, it really felt that when people left, it's like the spirit of the film was carried through to the people who were watching the film. Everybody left feeling kind of joyful, energized. There was a lot of laughter. It's a very, very unique story, and it's hard to find stories like this. So I hope that they can, be open to a new, unique story with a big heart.